All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a variation for your Amazon FBA product. And you want to make sure when you're setting up your listing that you include variations when you're starting off. It's a lot easier to already have your product have the variation option when you're building that listing, opposed to going back later and then thinking, oh, a variation would be great for my product, and then trying to do it later. It's a lot easier to do this while you're building your listing than trying to go retroactively and then add it later. Okay, so that's why I recommend doing this while you're creating your listing. Variations are great. A lot of people out there talk about, launch the next product, launch the next product. Your next product, think about this. So you're launching one product, you've chosen kind of a niche, a category, a certain type of product, and all that. When you're launching your next product, don't think of a totally different product. Are there any opportunities, do you think, for variations for your existing product? This could actually be a lot more profitable for you. And examples of variations could be a different color of your existing product, a different quantity of your existing product, a different design from your existing product, right? So similar products, but maybe a little like a different variation of them, obviously, right? So launching a variation in the future could be better than launching a completely new product, because your variation is going to be a part of your Amazon listing. It's going to use the same reviews, the same page rank. So you don't have to re-rank. You don't have to launch. You don't have to try to, work hard to get those reviews. You don't need a separate email sequence. You don't need a separate Facebook page or Instagram. You don't need any of that, right? Even if you launch a different product in the same niche, having a variation product is a great idea, especially if your first product was a wild success. I'd highly recommend looking into having a variation. Like I said, you may be thinking, well, Sumner, I don't know if my product is good for variations. I don't know if I should do a variation or not. That's fine. And when you create your listing and you create a variation with that listing, you don't ever have to use the variation. If you never come out with a different type of product, like a different variation of your product, you do not have to use the variations, right? You can just basically leave them blank and it doesn't hurt you at all. So it only helps, it doesn't hurt. Whether you use a variation or not, this is the best approach. So that's why I kind of recommend it. And again, I highly recommend when your first product is successful and you're eager and you want to launch a second product, think about launching a variation of your existing product. Okay, that's what I'd recommend doing. It's a lot easier, a lot less work, and it can be a lot more profitable in the end in terms of money in and money out. So just something to consider. Okay, that's what I'm doing currently with all my products. I'm building out variations for all of my products, and I'm super excited about it. I didn't realize how much potential all my products had until I really kind of looked into the power of variations. And I also realized how difficult it was to add variations after you've already created your product, okay? So anyway, let's go ahead and actually get into the meat of the video. So variations. I just went ahead and chose a random kind of topic here, but obviously for your own product, there should be an option for variations somewhere listed, again, depending on your category and all that, but I've just chosen a totally random one for now. For variation theme, you're basically going to choose what makes this variation different from the others, okay? Maybe, and you can just kind of think of this hypothetically, maybe size, color, the material, the number of items, etc., right? So for this, we're just going to choose color. So we selected color. Then what color? And what I'd recommend doing is, you can just have one variation, but I'd recommend having a few. But it's really up to you. I would have at least one. And then it really depends on your product, right? So for this color, we're going to go ahead and do red, blue, and green. Let's just do 3. Add those variations. Boom, red, blue, and green down here. So what you need to do, go ahead and select new. Okay, so make sure it's new, and new. You'll enter in your price and quantity over here as well. Which you can kind of do on your own, probably a similar price point. But again, it depends on the variation. And again, you can just fill in information and edit it later. Don't freak out about it. What is important to do, however, is over here for product ID type, choose UPC for each of these. And what I'd recommend doing for now, just to create your listing, is to use either Barcode Nation or Barcode Mania or some kind of service like this that are very, 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 very inexpensive UPC codes. Opposed to paying a few $100s with GS1 for these UPC codes. I highly recommend using one of those services, which I've linked below. And what you'll do is basically you'll buy a UPC code from Barcode Nation, put it in here, buy another UPC code, put it here, and then buy a third one and put it here, right? So each has its own kind of UPC code. I would do that for now. And then later, when you're actually launching your product, I'd recommend going with GS1 because again, Amazon, and this is an important note, Amazon only accepts GS1 barcodes or UPC codes. Nationwide barcode, barcode mania, all that is actually against Amazon's terms of service. However, a lot of sellers use them because they're significantly cheaper. However, I recommend that once you actually launch your product variation, to use a GS1 barcode, you should be able to edit here or add an additional variation easily. So yeah, to use GS1 barcode. However, it is completely up to you. I haven't had any issues using nationwide barcode with my own listing. I know other sellers who have also used and haven't had an issue, but really use it up to your own discretion. So yeah, you can enter in the UPC codes here, new, all that, enter in the information, save and finish, and then boom, your listing now has these variations, and you never have to make them active, okay? So these can be inactive the entire time, and nobody will see it. It's not going to do anything negative to your listing. It's only going to help you. It's not going to hurt you, and yeah, it'll be a lot easier when you actually create a variation. If you do in the future, it'll really help you. And if you don't have a variation, it's totally fine. You can just ignore them, leave them as is, no problem. But like I said, when you're launching your second product, think about launching a variation of your existing product. That can actually be a lot less headache, a lot easier, and ultimately more profitable and faster for you to do than launching a brand new product. Basically, when I kind of realized that, I'm like, why the heck did I not think of this sooner? That's a great idea. Because you're basically, again, using the same reviews. The page rank is already there. Your sales velocity is already there. Like, it's boom, you get it in, boom, already start making sales. Again, if you've done a correct job of creating a variation people actually want and need. So there's a little bit of a risk to it, but do your research, of course. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions about this, leave them in the comments below, and join our Facebook group, comment in our Facebook group. I and other sellers are there to help you, so be sure to join. And if you liked the video, which I hope you did, be sure to give me the thumbs up below and hit the subscribe button because I have a lot of great videos just like this currently on my channel and a lot more coming to you very, very soon. And I want to make sure you don't miss out. So as always, honestly, thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.